Hey everybody, I'm AceTrainerLiam and welcome to another Q&A. I am doing this one a little bit earlier than I anticipated, but I was just excited to do another Q&A and you guys sent me in loads of questions, and it just means you've got more time to ask me questions for when the next Q&A comes out at the start of November. Before I do start, I just want to mention one thing. My friend Joey just moved from the UK to Canada and has started a vlogging channel over there, English Furry Hobbit. He's a really nice guy and he's an absolute fountain of knowledge when it comes to music or science fiction or comic books, things like that. I'll pop a link to his channel in the description below and also at the end of this video. Please go check him out. He's a really nice guy and I'd love to see you guys share some of the love. But anyway, on to today's question. If you would suddenly transform into a Pokemon and there was no way of going back to your human form, which Pokemon would you want to become and why? I think there's only one real answer there. Would you ever get a Pokemon tattoo? Not only would I, but I have a design in mind. I know exactly where it's going. I also have a design for another one going somewhere else, but I just need money. So until I can afford to, once I get myself out of debt and all that crap, then I can start thinking about Pokemon tattoos. What was your first shiny, if you have any? My first shiny was Octillery. I obtained it in Pokemon Y whilst I was chain fishing. Who's your favourite human character in the Pokemon anime? James, for definite, always James. He's just so kind to his Pokemon. Every Pokemon he has, he loves. And just his whole backstory is actually quite interesting. If you go back and listen to every little bit of James's backstory, he's a really well-developed character. And it kind of makes sense that he's in Team Rocket because of his upbringing and just the way he didn't want to be. And not to mention, he's just the best Pokemon trainer out there. All of his Pokemon are with him because they want to be. Because he gives them something. It's a he's just a great character. Plus, I just really like his style, his voice. I prefer his original English dubbed voice. Obviously, I'm only talking about the English dub because I don't speak Japanese or any other languages because I'm pig ignorant. But in the English dub, his original voice was better. I know why they changed it and all that. We won't get into that. But even the new voice, I just really like James's style and he's a perfect character for me, closely followed by Brock. I'd love to know who your favourite Team Rocket member is, but I feel it's too specific to warrant any video time compared to some great questions out there. Firstly, it's actually a great question. Secondly, as before, my favourite member of Team Rocket is James. But if we talk about the video games, my favourite member of Team Rocket would be Giovanni, the leader of Team Rocket, because he's such an imposing figure. And the fact that you battle him once and then you have to face him again because he's the Viridian City gym leader is like, no way! When you first fight him, obviously, when, you know, once you know, don't you? But he's still an awesome character. If you're forced to choose to have a shiny Greninja or a shiny Rhyperior in your party, which would you choose and why? Yes, I know you hate them both, that's why I chose them to see which you pick. You devious bastard. Okay, seriously, if I had to choose between a shiny Greninja or a shiny Rhyperior, I'd go with Greninja. As much as I hate it, I don't hate it as much as Rhyperior. I think Rhyperior looks fucking ridiculous. I think that Greninja looks ridiculous with that stupid tongue scarf that should have been a bloody bubble scarf like its Bubble Frog predecessors. Just saying. But yeah, you know, I can handle a black water type, that's fine. Rhyperior just... no. If you were a water type gym leader, what would be the TM that you give out to successful challengers? Maybe because it's your favourite move, or simply because of your battle strategy would make heavy use of it. It doesn't need to be a move that currently exists in TM form or has ever been a TM. The TM I would give out to successful challengers of my water type gym would be Aqua Jet, because it's a great move. It's a physical water type move. Alright, it's only got base power of 40, but it's got priority. So in normal circumstances, it will always hit first, unless your opponent has used a priority move as well. And obviously, give it to a water type, it has stab on top of the 40 base power, you can add items that can increase the power of it. There are all sorts of combinations with Aqua Jet to make it an effective move, and a lot of people use it. I've seen a lot of people use it recently with Belly Azumarill. Do you do Instagram? Yes, I do have an Instagram account. You'll find links to my Instagram, Facebook, Twitter and Pokemon Amino accounts in the description below every single one of my videos. What's one Pokemon plush you'd love to have that you don't currently have? I like this question because there are three actually that I'd like to have. I'd like to have a Victory Bell, I'd like to have a Heliolisk and I'd like to have a Grumpig. And I can't find official plushes of these anywhere. And I'm not just talking like any old plush. I mean, like, I'm just going to pull my laptop down. What's a good example? Actually, Bunnelby is a good example, right? This Bunnelby plush is perfection itself. It's proportionate. Everything about Bunnelby in this plush is to scale, and I like that. I really like plushes that are so perfectly to scale. I mean, even actually, I could even argue like this Garchomp plush is pretty freaking accurate, and it's stuffed in all the right places, so everything's the right shape, you know? It's just a great plush. And I'd like to see that. Oh my god, there's going to be an avalanche. I'd like to see that in a Victory Bell, a Grumpig, and a Heliolisk. Like, they do Helioptile, but they don't do Heliolisk. And another question, a question of my own for you guys. In the official Takara Tomy Heliolisk plush, why is it grey and yellow and not black and yellow like in the game? I did say Helioptile, didn't I? Whatever. But yeah, those are the three that I would choose. Where do you get all your Pokemon shirts? I generally buy my Pokemon shirts from T-Fury, QWERTY or T-Turtle. I'll put links to them all in the description. Are you thinking of making a P.O. box? Also, I think your videos are amazing. Well, first of all, thank you very much. Glad you're enjoying the videos. Secondly, yes, I am considering a P.O. box. The only thing that's stopping me is finances, because it's like £250 for a year, which is what, like $300 for a year. And I know spread out over the course of a year, that's not a lot of money. However, it's an upfront cost, so I need to just magic 250 quid from the middle of nowhere. So as soon as I can afford, as soon as the money rolls in where I can afford to have a P.O. box, I will have one bang straight in the description and it will never go anywhere. You and your fiance are cute. Oh, thank you very much. More videos of you two. I'll see what I can do. I don't usually differentiate evolutionary lines as singular Pokemon, but you seem to think of them separately, i.e. Frogadier and Greninja. However, if you raise one Pokemon from first to third evolution, it's the same Pokemon, as evidenced by the nickname you give it, the affection and happiness levels, etc. I guess I'm asking for an explanation of why or how you managed to see them as separate entities. Oh, I get this. Okay, what Kev W is saying is basically, if I raise a Froakie, and let's say I call it Cutie Bobble, and Cutie Bobble evolves into a Frogadier. It's a Frogadier, it's a different Pokemon now, but it's still Cutie Bobble. It still has the same affection towards me, it's still got the same happiness level, and then if it keeps evolving, it evolves into Greninja. Yeah, it's a Pokemon species that I don't really like, but it's still my little Cutie Bobble, isn't it? Here's the thing though, you can love something, and you can still hate how it looks. Like, I love my brother, but the guy is ugly, right? He can't help it. Well, he can, he just doesn't make the effort. But that's my point, is you don't have to like something just because you love it. And the thing is, I can see them as separate entities because they're separate species. Yes, they come from the same evolutionary line, but they're different species. Much in the way I couldn't like hang out with a chimpanzee and pass it off as one of my human friends. We come from the same place, but we're different species, and I just don't like how Greninja looks. So if I choose to put an Everstone on my Frogadier, it's only because I love my Frogadier the way it is, and I want it to stay that way forever. I hope that answered your question. If you absolutely had to evolve Poliwhirl, would you go for a Politoed for cuteness, or Poliwrath for its resemblance to a pro wrestler? Politoed for the cuteness, hands down. Poliwrath, it's fine as it is, but I'm more interested in Politoed because it's so cute. Which is really weird because I have a phobia of frogs. Like, I don't like them jumping near me or being near me, yet my favourite Pokemon is a tadpole and my other favourite Pokemon is a frog, and Politoed is a frog. Maybe I just like anime frogs. What are your 5 top tips for starting YouTube? Bloody hell, 5? Well, number 1 is going to be perseverance. Always persevere, never give up. Because it's going to be a long road. Unless you do something that goes viral, then that completely negates this point. But for me, for example, I started posting videos at the end of January, and I didn't get to 500 subscribers until the middle of August. That's like almost 8 full months for me to even get to 500. And then bam, it's now the start of October and I've got 12,000 and counting. So your channel will pick up at some point if you're giving out good or decent content. So it's just persevering up to that point and not getting downhearted if your video doesn't have a lot of views, or if you don't think that people are responding to a video that you thought was going to be really successful, because people might not see it for a while, but eventually it will happen. Secondly would be make good content, because if you don't make good content, people aren't going to want to watch it. If you've got video and you're just not really saying much, and, you know, just don't sound interested in what you're talking about, then nobody's going to care. Do Do you think I talk like this on a daily basis, like loud and bubbly and shouty? No, I'm a depression sufferer. I just talk normally, you know. If I just talk normally, you guys would be really bored because it'd just be like having a conversation with some guy that just mumbles. But if I just, you know, have a bit of enthusiasm, talk a bit, you know, just smile, gesticulate, although I gesticulate way too much because like my hands are fucking all over the place. You know that guy from Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs, Chester V? Google him. That is me in my videos. I am Chester V in real life. Number 3 is very important. Take criticism on board. If someone's a troll, you know, like the people that constantly say to me, why isn't Septile in this list? Why isn't Septile in this list? Septile isn't in the list because I don't fucking like it as much as the 10 that I've put in the list. Get over it. You know, he might be number 11, you don't know. Just relax, go make your own list. But you're always going to get haters like that. Those are the people that aren't giving you constructive criticism. Constructive criticism would be the people that say to you, your background music's a bit too loud, so we can't really hear what you're saying. Don't reply to them with, fuck off, it's my video. Just say, thank you, I'll bear that in mind. And then actually bear it in mind because they're telling you something that will improve the quality of your videos and therefore will result in more views and more people returning after viewing your video to watch it again or to watch other videos you've made. As X and Y was set in France, where would you like the next game to be based in? Why not merry old London? I'd like to see a London-based game. It can be a really like cluttered city metropolis. But then I suppose that doesn't really work with Pokemon because you kind of need like a mountainous area and you need a countryside area just to make things a little more interesting. Although the cave sections could be replaced with like empty, abandoned underground railroad tunnels. That'd be kind of awesome. Actually, let's do this. Let's set it in London. And like the legendary could be like in the Tower of London or something like that. In Super Smash Bros. For Wii U and 3DS, do you miss Squirtle and Ivysaur? I absolutely do miss them. I absolutely do miss them too. Well, I do, but then at the same time, well, I do, but at the same time, we've got new like Pokemon Assist trophies in, so like Snorlax is in the game, Eevee's in the game, you've got a Bomber Snow, you've got Giratina going on in there, and they've added so much more variety to it. You know what I miss in Super Smash Bros? Solid Snake. Brilliant character. Which season of the Pokemon anime is your favourite? Well, I'm kind of biased, because the first season of the anime is what glued me to the Pokemon anime. So from the first episode all the way up to the Indigo League, those are my favourite Pokemon episodes. Although I do really like the Diamond and Pearl series, because I like the dynamic between Ash, Dawn and Brock, and I also like... And obviously I like that the battles become more intense at that point. And I also like the new X and Y seasons because I found them really interesting. I've really enjoyed them. What's your favourite movie? My favourite movie is actually Liar Liar because I'm a massive Jim Carrey fan. Jim Carrey is one of my big inspirations. I love The Mask. I love Liar Liar, obviously. I love Me, Myself and Irene. I love Bruce Almighty. I love Cable Guy. Just so many Jim Carrey movies I can just sit and watch them for hours because they're so much fun. I also loved him in Batman Forever because he was brilliant as the Riddler. And Tommy Lee Jones was awesome as Two-Face. Another Jim Carrey film that I love, which is actually, yeah, definitely one of my favourite movies, is Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. I freaking love that movie. There is so much detail to that movie that you pick up on your third or fourth watch as you go through. Great story. I mean, it's based on a book, isn't it? I have no idea. But Jim Carrey played the part so well. All the other characters, I mean, Mark Ruffalo's in there. Kirsten Dunst is in there. Is that who that is? They're all great in their individual roles. Fucking Elijah Wood's in that movie. It's such a good movie, like, for name dropping, but it's also a good movie because it's just a great movie. Oh shit, Kate Winslet's in there as well. Kind of forget about her because she's a bit Kate Winslet. Sorry, Kate. How did you look when you were a baby? I was fat. I was the fattest little baby you've ever seen. I'm starting to get fat again now and I'm kind of worried, so I need to hit the gym again. But yeah, I was a big chunky baby. In fact, when I came out, let's not go into too much detail, but I had breathing problems, so I was completely blue. And then they put me in a little incubator and not long after I had jaundice, so then I went yellow. But now I'm just Liam. That turned out alright, didn't I? Maybe? Are you going to do other games than Pokemon on the channel, now or later? This one's kind of a yes and no. For the moment, I'm sticking to Pokemon because that's what I love. That's all I have time for at the moment because I love Pokemon so much and I just have so much I want to say about Pokemon. So yeah, I will stick to that for the moment, but that's not to say that further down the line I might branch out into other games that either, you know, when new cool games come out and I've got, you know, when I've got more consoles, because at the moment my 3DS is all I play. I've got a 360, but I don't ever buy any games for it. I've got GTA 5 and that's it. And I don't want to do GTA 5 on this channel. It's a laugh, but nah, I haven't got the time for it. But I may do other games in the future, so watch this space. Which Pokemon were on your first I assume you mean team. Pokemon on my first team, I had Blastoise, Victreebel, Nidoking, Haunter, because I had no one to trade with, and probably Pidgeot, I would assume, because who didn't have Pidgeot on their first team in like Red and Blue? If you could create an Eevee evolution, what type and shape would it be? You're awesome, dude, and keep on with the good work. Well, thank you very much for that. I don't know what shape I would make it, because the evolutions are all kind of foxy, so probably fox-shaped. But I want a poison evolution. With the evolutions, we've got kind of type sets. So we've got fire, water, and electric. So the electric beats the water beats the fire. Then we've got a dark and a psychic type, they kind of go together. Then we've got an ice type and a grass type, which kind of go together. And then we've got a fairy type just sitting on its own. So I'd really like to see a poison type, because of course that will be super effective against the fairy type. But similarly, a steel type, which would be super effective, or even a dragon type, which Sylveon would be super effective against, would be a nice addition. But for me, poison would be really cool. I think they could do a cool idea with that. What is your favourite childhood console and game? I love your videos. Thank you very much for loving my videos. Keep spreading the word. With my favourite console and game, I would say my favourite console was the PlayStation 2. Purely because I played a lot of games on the PlayStation 2, but also because I could play my old PS1 games on it at the same time. So it would have been PS1, because I played so much PS1 as a kid, but PS2 allowed me to do that and then some. And favourite games, I mean, I've said before, I love the Metal Gear Solid series, I love the Oddworld games, except I got a bit annoyed when they moved over to Xbox when I didn't have an Xbox and couldn't afford an Xbox, because it's like, what have you done? You've left me! But Abe's Odyssey and Abe's Exodus are the best games that they ever made anyway. And I love the Final Fantasy games. 7, 8, 9 and 10 for me were the ones that I always played over and over and over again. Especially number 8. I have fond memories, this is going to sound really weird, I have fond memories of, I used to share a bedroom with my brother. His bed was on one side of the room, mine was on the other. We both had TVs on like wall brackets, but he'd be on his side of the room playing Eminem CDs like the Slim Shady LP or the Marshall Mathers LP, like we're talking old school Eminem. And I just remember playing Final Fantasy VIII and running through Fisherman's Horizon, and basically the rule was, if he's playing his music, I have to have my game on mute. So my game would be on mute, playing Final Fantasy VIII, running around in Fisherman's Horizon to the sound of Eminem singing Criminal. It was surreal, but it really worked, and just a fond memory I have of playing Final Fantasy VIII. Do you like Coke or Pepsi? I'm actually more of a Pepsi man, so sorry to disappoint the Coke fans that are watching, but I'll drink either. I'm really kind of, I don't mind. Okay, last question, and my camera's probably moved because it ran out of memory and I had to take it and upload to my computer and whatnot. Do you think Yokai Watch will be the end of Pokemon in the West? I really don't. The reason for that, the reason I don't think it'll be the end of Pokemon is because Pokemon's such a big cash cow for the Pokemon Company, for Nintendo, for Game Freak. I mean, the fact that the Pokemon Company is a company in itself, why would it just end? I really don't think Yokai Watch is going to put Pokemon out of business because, you know, Digimon didn't put them out of business, Yu-Gi-Oh! Didn't put them out of business, even Beyblade didn't put them out of business. They're just companies that do a similar thing alongside Pokemon, and Pokemon is always top dog. I can't see anything putting Pokemon out of business besides a particular member of the team perhaps passing away and them all deciding, do you know what, in his memory we are just stopping production completely. That's the only way I see Pokemon ending. But even then, I think their wishes would be for the company to keep going, so I can't see Pokemon ending anytime soon. I don't even see Pokemon ending this century. It's just too big of a thing now to stop. It's literally, you know, Pokemon is on the 5th stage of rollout. You know, it's so powerful, it ain't stopping anytime soon. Thanks everybody for watching, I hope you enjoyed this Q&A. Leave your questions for the next one that will be early November time in the comment section below. And don't forget to subscribe so you never miss a video from me. If you're already subscribed, thank you so much. I freaking love you guys. We've hit 12,000 and we're still going. I love you guys, it's brilliant. As I said before, please go and check out my friend Joey's channel. There'll be a link in the description and on the end slide of this video. And I've got a collaboration coming up with a YouTuber who I won't mention yet, I'll let it be a surprise. That's coming in the next week or so, so stay tuned for that. I'm AceTrainerLiam, but until next time, keep on training.